Good morning, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the newest. Welcome to the newest Naruto story. What if Naruto was the Otsutsuki god's reincarnation? Or, well, the official title will be What if Naruto was an Otsutsuki? He will look somewhere in his teenage years, something like the picture shown here. However, let's just get straight into the story. On October 10th of this year, Kushina was struggling in a room far away from the village. She was the current Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. However, Minato, was there, the fourth Hokage, also Kushina's husband. He was there to help her get along, survive this encounter, and also keep the nine-tailed beast sealed inside of her. They didn't want this calamity to get unleashed onto this world yet. However, as the first born son, Menma, arrived, his head popped out as the godmother, the third Hokage's wife, said happily that he had been there. The second-born daughter, Mito, named after Kushina's grandmother and the first Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tail. And as the third-born, Naruto, Mito, and Menma Uzumaki Namikaze, the three children of the Hokage. Though, for some reason, Minato and Kushina absolutely despised the third-born, even just when he was born. They didn't know why, but they just felt like he was wrong, was a failure from that point. However, as everybody was focused on the fourth Hokage's wife, nobody noticed the little alien arriving on the outskirts near the border of the Land of Fire. She could feel that she was in the right place, but was a bit far away from her target. And so she began approaching the village hidden in the leaves. But let's get back to the story. As soon as Kushina was finally born, has finally made her three first children into existence, a masked man made the third Hokage's wife drop dead to the floor as he took Menma, the firstborn, and injected a vial of something into him. He then asked for the Jinchuriki or he'd kill the baby. Minato, being the yellow flash of the leaf, jumped into action in that second and took Menma, and laid him back into his own house. And then he came back, and just to make sure, took the two other kids out. However, Kushina was not there, but the kids was the important part right now. But he came back for Kushina. He found her on the rock pedestals directly outside the cave, and he saw the masked man unsealing the Nine-Tails. The Nine-Tails began running rampage. However, he soon felt the presence of something strong and stopped. The masked man was confused and tried to put him under another genjutsu, but out of sheer fear for this thing that was here, it did not work. Minato saw this as a perfect opportunity and took his sons and his daughter over. He tried to split the Nine-Tails in between all three of them, giving Menma and Mito the chakra and Naruto the soul. However, the Shinigami felt a presence that he hadn't felt in a long time, and decided to just leave that be and seal and do as the sealer did, however, out of sheer fear again, which was odd. He did not take Minato's soul, which felt odd, as that's what was supposed to happen. But Menma and Mito got all of the Nine Tails split between them. Both got equal soul and equal chakra. However, Menma would not be able to access any chakra, as the poison vial that the masked man had given him prevented that, to give a weak Jinchuriki for the future. Kushina then arrived, and realizing that he forgot some chakra, he forcefully took some chakra from Menma, being the oldest, to make a little sacrifice for his mother for power, but at least he would have a mother still alive. And it succeeded, surprisingly. He thought that he would just take of his own of Menma's chakra, completely depleting it, as he was that young and he hadn't unlocked any chakra reserves yet, and just living off of that little chakra that Kushina had given him. Sorry, I need some water. So all of them survived that night, except for the Anbu and the third Hokage's wife, which for the third Hokage's wife was held a memorial. However, the Anbu was to never be known, so they were secretly dug down by the Anbu Core. However, so now we make a 3-year time skip. We make where Naruto is up in the attic, barely surviving after a rigorous torture, as some would call it, as he had just been target practice from Menma and Mito, shuriken to be exact. He was bleeding all over. Kushina, to make sure that their image had healed him, but only to the bare minimum so he would live. He was still in excruciating pain. While dojutsus are shown to be here, he still does not unlock any of them. He yet does not know that he has any. Naruto then hears the trapdoor up to the attic open, as he sees Kushina come up with disgust on her face. She has a paper bag filled hopefully with food. Naruto can only do this. He can only have hope that she finally feeds him. And it is, but it's rice and dry bread, whereas he knew Menma and Mito were getting lamb tonight, as it was their birthday. He was turning 3 years as well. However, this must be his birthday present food that he only got in a rare time. Naruto thanked his mom for the food, but as soon as he said even just the word of Kushina being his mother, Kushina was filled with disgust and hatred for him again. She had almost forgotten why she hated him, but as soon as he said that, she realized why. He was just a monster. He's what's got all the soul and none of the chakra, everybody thought. However, they were not entirely wrong. He had a tailed beast that he was born with that sealed itself in him because that was the orders given to it before his reincarnation. And on the outskirts of the village, a little pale girl finally came, just as pale as Naruto, however with no horns and a fully pure Byakugan, the beloved eye of the Hyuga. She felt the master's presence and gave some healing chakra to him as soon as she felt that nobody else was in his room, and all of his wounds mysteriously healed. As he was eating, he thought that the food that they had given her, that Kushina had given him, includes some potions or healing or anything, so he was glad. He was actually thankful to his family for once. The Otsutsuki girl on the outskirts, that pale girl, felt a little bit ashamed, disappointed that she didn't get credit, but realized that he didn't know that she existed. So, how would he possibly know that she did this for him? But that wasn't the matter. What was truly the matter was that Naruto had finally gotten something to eat. He was thankful as he laid down to sleep. But suddenly he was called down by Kushina. He tried to open up the gate, but it wouldn't, so he yanked at it, and it flew off the hinges. Not realizing what he just did, he just walked down. He saw Kakashi, the only person who ever came by to visit him specifically. The lone man, who always was reading some yellow book that his parents forbid Menma and Mito to ever look at. He was always reading it for some reason. He never knew why. However, Kakashi came with a proposal, as he knew that Kushina and Minato hated the boy. He proposed to adopt them, where Minato and Kushina immediately said yes, and he brought Naruto the good news. Naruto was so happy that he went up and packed the rest of his things. Not that he had much anyway, and went to live with Kakashi. They arrived home in a short period of time, as Kakashi carried Naruto on his back, and flew across the rooftops over to his house. Naruto thought it was fun, and the Otsutsuki girl outside of town saw this and was glad someone was finally being nice to Naruto and letting him live an actual life. And so she just went into hiding once more. Naruto, arriving at Kakashi's house, falls asleep due to what the food had included into it, being a little bit of poison, knockout poison to be exact. Now, Kakashi had realized this and let him sleep, but not before healing it so that it wouldn't cause permanent damage. During this, Naruto got knocked out, he was set into his mindscape. He had read about this from the limited books that he had gotten, and that mostly Shinshurikis had this, so he thought that everything about him being a monster and and being the household for a monster was true. As a deafening tone spoke out to him, directly next to him was a giant cell, bigger than what he had expected, and inside he saw the monster that he had sealed. However, there wasn't really any bars in front of him. It was mostly just open space. And as Naruto walked towards it, it greeted him nicely. He didn't know why. It greeted him nicely, as it was a monster. So, Naruto notices it has tails. So, and he heard from Minato and Kushina, and also a bit of Menma, that he was the Shinshuriki of the Nine Tails. But there looked to be more than 9 tails on this creature. However, he didn't have much time to think about it, as he was suddenly dragged out of the subconscious by Kakashi healing him, bringing him back. Naruto was grateful that Kakashi had done this, however, wanted to continue being in the mindscape for just a minute longer. However, Kakashi was relieved that he was okay. And now, as we did before, we will make another time skip until he's in the academy. When he's in the academy, he was given 5 chakra paper to make sure for the maximum. Naruto then had already unlocked his chakra point, being that he had so much but he could control it, as the tailed beast inside him sealed away most of his chakra when he sealed inside of him. Sorry, I need some water again. Naruto continued to do as he was told, putting slight chakra into them. The first one sparked as it was showing that he had lightning. The second one became filled with greenery, showing he had earth too. The third one became wet, showing water. The fourth one ripped in half, and the fifth one burnt, showing he had all 5 chakra natures. He asked for one more though, as it crumbled, and he was given it because the teachers were curious if he had a Kekkei of any sorts. And to their surprise, it formed a balanced shape, kind of like the old beliefs of yin and yang, the good and the evil. Well, there's still good and evil and good. They were all surprised at this. However, it quickly just burnt up to hide itself. So they thought it might have just been a miscalculation, that his chakra just went to original chakra, as that was what was most common. So it showed that he had fire again. However, this fire was darker, showing blaze, as it was called, the Kekkei. However, nobody noticed this other than Naruto and Sasuke, who was a bit jealous. Naruto was surprised at this, and was kind of happy that he had all 5 and even one more. Maybe 2. Little did he know at the time that he had everything, as he was the creator. But that went on to reveal the academy first exam, the entrance exams. This was the first part of the exam to show if anybody had any talent or any or could possibly be a prodigy or something like that. The teachers thought, Iruka especially thought, that maybe Naruto could be a prodigy. But he let that slip out of his mind for now, as he was still just a young boy. So the time came up, and we will skip most of them. We will skip most of the fights as in canon, but we will be talking about the Naruto versus Sasuke fight. Sasuke, as Minato was alive, all of his family was also still alive, and Fugaku was more willing to teach Sasuke, about the Uchiha style of fire, and the Uchiha province, the thing that made them above all else, the Sharingan. So at the start of the battle, Sasuke activated the Sharingan, shocking Iruka, the current proctor, and as well as Misuki. Naruto saw this and felt quite intrigued by it, and felt something in his eyes, felt something in his head telling him he could do it too. He didn't know where that was coming from. However, he decided to ignore it just for now, and decided to just release a fire style. This fireball was even stronger, bigger, and faster than the Uchiha style fireball, which shocked Sasuke as his fireball clashed with the other one, and Naruto's came out on top. Naruto then stops the fire from going any further as it dispels in the air, and Naruto goes in for the punch. Sasuke, with the one-to-one, just barely manages to dodge it, showing how fast Naruto really was. To many, he wasn't a blur just yet, but he was going really fast. To Naruto, though, he knew that he could go even faster, but he didn't know how. But Naruto then proceeded to spin around and kick Sasuke straight to the floor, knocking him out cold, winning the fight. And with a shocked tone in his voice, Iruka said, "Winner, Naruto Hatake." As yes, his name was changed to Hatake as he was adopted by Kakashi. The next fight was something that Menma requested to the Hokage, his father, as he knew that Naruto was a monster, so he wanted to humiliate him, and so Menma went up against Naruto. Naruto was a bit surprised that this was a special request from the Hokage, but realized that it was Menma, and that it was probably Menma's idea, as he had known Menma for quite a while. Menma was still a bit shocked at that Sasuke, the Uchiha, the prodigy among them, lost to such a monster, and claimed that he was just using the monster's power. At that moment, for just a split second, you could see something. It looked like a purple Sharingan. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the purple Sharingan looking thing. That is what activated it in both of his eyes. And just for a split second, this thing appeared. However, it was just as quickly gone. Menma thought he was daydreaming. However, he realized that he was wide awake and that it was probably just false alarm. So, Menma goes over there. Naruto then just kicks Menma straight to the stomach, and as he wins once again. Naruto is then accepted into the academy, beating not only the Uchiha prodigy, but he also scored massively on all the tests, and even after doing all of that, he still managed to succeed again by defeating the Hokage's son, thought to be just as strong as Uchiha. However, little did anybody know that he was actually far weaker. Naruto going home from the academy, tells Kakashi how well he did and that he beat the Uchiha and Menma in the fights. Hatake Kakashi was very proud of his son, thinking that he might be a prodigy just like he was back in his youth. Thinking that he sounded kind of like Guy in his minds now, talking all about youth and such. But he decided to declare nothing of it and just congratulate Naruto and took him out for his favorite meal, which was ramen. And that's where I'll be ending off today's episode. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And the next episode will either be out today, later today, or later tomorrow. See you all in the next one. And if I haven't told you this before, good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. See you in the next one.